Good morning, everyone, and hello from London. This is Maria. I am a video game lighting artist, worked in my profession till now around 12 years. And the reason I'm doing this recording is because Katex, our very lovely host, has sent me this invitation, and I was thrilled to know that this interview will be recorded and also translated into other language than English. So I hope what I'm going to share now is helpful for your future career, and hopefully if you're in any difficult time life-wise and you're into video game lighting artist as your future career development, this might share you a little bit of sparkle from my own story. Thank you. Then let's get started. It's always good to give everybody a little bit of a self-introduction. So I'm Maria. My profession is video game lighting artist. So far I have been worked in this industry for 12 years, and I've been worked among different continents, including studios like Ubisoft Shanghai, Crytek Frankfurt, that is the headquarters of Crytek, and the Crowd Imperium Games in United Kingdom in Manchester, and Splash Damage in London. We will collaborate with the Canadian game dev studio coalition for Gears 5. And my shipping title including Far Cry 4 and Far Cry Primal, so that's Gears 5, Star Citizen, and a few unannounced titles. So I only moved back from Los Angeles from my previous job in Deviation Games located in Santa Monica, Los Angeles, and now I am working as a principal lighting artist at a Sharkmob London studio. This is a Tencent collaborative studio, and we are located in central London. And in this podcast, I will share a little bit of my career advice and also following the question guide given by our lovely host. I hope you all enjoyed this interview. Let's get started.
¿Cómo explicarías tu trabajo como artista de iluminación a alguien que no sabe nada sobre videojuegos?
Right, and this is usually how I explain my profession to my parents or friends who is not really familiar with video games. So I consider myself as a makeup artist who is in charge to control the weather in a video game world, and also any interior lighting related set. So basically the goal of my job is control the look of video game. So sometimes I just joked like I'm basically a makeup artist of video game. So if I go through my art station and you will see like a few samples, most of my personal work are listed here just because as video games in production, for sure there is certain NDAs, and until the game is released, usually any artist who worked in that very project, they are not allowed to share anything. So that's like the information data security stuff. But which is why I was motivated to doing my personal work, partially because I love what I do, and secondary is also the lighting job is all about making the scene looks interesting or define certain type of mood. So whatever you see here, I do not really do the 3D asset modeling, but my job is basically collect and assemble this various 3D asset into a certain type of thing and address a certain type of feeling, mood, or sometimes give a little bit of a narrative for storytelling.
¿Qué consejo le darías a alguien que aspira a ser artista de iluminación en la industria de los videojuegos?
I think it's a bit tricky because taking myself as an example, I do not really trained for video games, to be fair, but what I was studied before is basically set design, stage design, like the props, how you manage the stage, and also photography, because photography is my art foundation course which I've taken in my university for my bachelor degree. So I think if you knowing, like if you really aims to working as a lighting artist in video game industry, first of all, this role is very interesting, challenging, and competitive, because for any project, regardless they're AAA first person shooters, or the could be like online open world MMORPG, because of the technology constantly evolves, and I would believe the career opportunity is increasing. However, because only those almost like blockbuster movies in the film industry, usually this role only exists in any project that has like very sophisticated funding, and of course if this is a mainstream IP, they have relatively constrained, like restrictive requirement of art standard. That means yeah, the opportunity is always there, but usually to us is either we have good job or we have no job. So be prepared, like portfolio is everything. So far I've been worked in many different game studios in different locations. I do meet colleagues basically from all over the world. It's very common, like in any studio I've worked, I know colleagues from like at least 12 to 20 different nationality. So where are you coming from is really doesn't matter, because this is a craftsman's job. All you have to do is get good and knowing the direction you are aiming for. So portfolio wise, I'd say if you heading some certain type of games, it's always good to get something similar. See if you are aim at first person shooting games, get some, you know, like combat alike map in your portfolio is always a good goal. And also the less post process, the better. I'm not saying post-production is a bad thing. It's more about if your portfolio is built up for getting hired, it's very important that you demonstrate your basic or fundamental understanding of lighting, such as how to control the balance of light, how to control the contrast, and also how to use the lighting as a visual tool to describe the certain vocabulary and focus on the essential point, like where would you like to guide your audience or player to look at. So it's a very practical role, and we were facing every day at work is always problem solving. It's like where would we want the player to look at, or where we want them to go. So it's like we are addressing the same to adding more mood, adding more dimension. But on top of that, we are also a guide. So more or less is like how you slowly construct your lighting vocabulary and describe the word and lead the player to help them navigate the word and enriching their experience. So, more advice I could give about study is art foundation is really important, such as color theories and even I would say go drawing, go sketching, because how you understand how to frame the thing is very important in terms of compositing art. And I do consider lighting is a type of compositing art, just because we are taking care of the thing and the character simultaneously.
La industria de los videojuegos AAA puede ser muy exigente. ¿Qué haces para mantenerte motivada e inspirada en tu trabajo diario?
I kind of covered the previous one in my previous answers a little bit, but to stay motivated and inspired for daily work, an ugly truth I'd like to share is usually most of the high budget video game projects, they have a very determined and mainstream driven art direction. So I think the best thing we can do as part of the executive artist is we are going to understand the intention of the directors, that's including art director and design directors. We need to know what type of experience the designer or the creator of the game willing us to deliver, and transfer that very experience via our graphic or lighting vocabulary. So saying if they have lots of escort mission, maybe we want to make the thing looks very scary or mysterious, or if there is like a solid intensive combat thing, then visibility jumps up upon above everything else. It's like we need to guarantee the visibility of the entire map, and then we could think about how to make them look more pretty. So stay motivated, I would say, because there will constantly be a solid deadline, because this is a product we have to ship in the game at during a certain amount of timing. So I think stay motivated is more is as an add-on to help myself according to my own experience is doing my personal work. So which is why because while I was doing the personal work, it's all about the feelings, the thing I feel like passionate. I will consider very lucky for my current job, just because the very project hits a few authentic boxes that I love, so it fits some style I like a lot. But that's not always the case, because in my past shipping titles I have at least 3 first-person shooting games. They're fun to play, but I would say they're slightly less fun to make, just because there is very restrictive regulations with the performance, the frame rate, even the brightness, because like I mentioned before, because this is a shooting game, so you really have to control the visibility. That is the priority visual-wise above everything else.
Has trabajado en varias ciudades y países a lo largo de tu carrera. ¿Cómo ha influido esta experiencia multicultural en tu enfoque y estilo de trabajo?
Like I said, usually, yeah, the location does matter, because if I go through my own LinkedIn, and you will see me worked at various studios from China, Ubisoft to Crytek. Yeah, it's plenty of stuff. Yeah, I start around here, so this is like my first AAA lighting job. That was a long time ago, and I've been to China, Frankfurt, and then UK, and 2 companies in UK, and then I went to Los Angeles. And only last year I moved back to the UK, because I stayed in this country for many years, more than decades now, and most of my friends are here, and I do love the culture thrived in London. So I think on one hand, games industry, the nature of our industry gives us a really great opportunity for any adventure, because usually to me changing job means moving country. But the downside is your friend circle, your life circle definitely is that's gonna get affected a lot. So if you do have family and kids, then I think stay in games industry is possible, of course, but it might be slightly more difficult for you to choose jobs like freely, like going to different country because of the visa, all of the immigration regulations. But 5% from myself about the fun part is I got to observe the world, because so far I've been worked among Asia, Europe, and America, North America, and I do feel like it's border my sense of a culture, and also knowing friends from all over the world, and even with the same topic you can get quite different ideas. Even you talk about the same game, for example Call of Duty, and if you like asking how you feel about the games, I think people from different culture does gives you different opinion. Even they all love it or they may all hate it, but I think it's just the borders my sense of authentic, that's for sure, as an artist. And also I do believe I become more forgiving and more understanding culture wise, because one thing I do love is like I met people, we are friends, we could have completely different preference about art, and we have completely different reading about the same project, because I have various friends, they're also great artists, very talented, but some stuff I love a lot, they absolutely hate it, which I find is quite fun. So it's more about your personal experience. Of course, moving is very practical. I'm so glad I finally settled in the UK, but moving is like it's exciting and energy drawing. So if you do consider working abroad, my suggestion will be do a lot of research about the cost and livings. That's very practical, and also calculate your budget well. Most of the studio, if they decide to hire overseas talent, usually they are quite generous. The company will offer you like a certain amount of like accommodation or like even fundings for your moving. But still, because it's such a practical issue, I would say if you have friends in that very area which you aim to move into, it's always good to do your own research and find out, like plan everything ahead. That's definitely very useful for me, at least.
¿Qué te motiva a seguir haciendo lo que te apasiona a pesar de las dificultades que has enfrentado a lo largo de tu vida?
Right, that's a lovely one. So I am like I would say so far the most challenging issue I'm facing during my entire career is the immigration regulation, because I am a Chinese citizen originally, and of course my passport, I will always need visa to work abroad from either Europe or North America. So we have to go in through that very unpredictable and almost there's everything's out of your hand situation. So I think a good motivation for me is because the nature of the job is always about addressing your own mood, is always about what you really like. So even there are so many challenges life-wise, like I need to think about the visa. Also, like sometimes if I'm looking for a new job, and usually to us there is a tech and art lighting test. If for sure I know people whoever might offer a good job opportunity to me, that means I have demonstrated myself work better and faster than my local competitor artists, unfortunately, because the fact is we are, as the expert or game dev artist, we literally move to another continent to take the job opportunity whoever might be easier for them to get at the local area. And yeah, there's no like I try not to be judging or like be like offensive, so I have no intention of that, but that's just the fact. If you want somebody else's opportunity, you really have to be faster and better. So and I guess apart from the fact Another thing is I really love what I do. It's like even I have like certain type of serious health issues, even I have like my life has been up and down a lot because my job nature requests me like moving different countries, and I am kind of proud that I complete everything by myself so far. And also I do meet amazing friends alongside this long journey. So slowly I'll be set down, and I'm glad like I'm landing like UK will be my final home. However, I'm still excited with the adventure incoming, and I'm always excited about the latest graphic rendering technology. So I would say for now, I don't think distance is an issue, but the passion is what you need the most. And 5 cents from me, if you are really passionate about a certain profession or job or career, regardless of what happened to you, and please do not give up. It's a very difficult journey, but it is you and owning you could hold yourself and keep yourself collective and keep them going. So also be realistic. So it's very common to get rejections for your first job or even like the first 3 years of your career, because I will be really proud to show everybody there are more than 40 rejected emails from my probably 10 years ago job applications among different game companies. And funny enough, later I heard back from all of them like after certain years in this industry, because people saw my personal work and the people saw the passion, and I'm really glad like what I'm trying to deliver could be understood without like any extra word. I avoid to write long description about my work because I do believe a good art done by a good artist, they should able to speak by themselves. So yeah, that is the 5 cents of suggestion I could give for everyone.
Por último, ¿qué le dirías a la Maria Yue de hace 15 años?
That's lovely. I believe being this industry for 12 years, there's lots of taken away. But what I actually willing to tell myself like 15 years ago is nothing about it. Because I think when we look back to our life, it's all about the time and the decision we're making. And the little regret that I might have is I do think I am over caring the people around me too much than carrying myself. So if there's one message I want to deliver to the little Maria at 50 years ago, I would say focus on your dream more and care less about how people saying you. It's like it's all about my hobbies, my Lolita fashions, which is what I'm wearing. You will see me wear with bows and frills. This is a Japanese fashion combination with Victorian fashion and the modern cute Japanese Harajuku look. But yeah, when I was young, I loved this fashion. I loved like a video game, but just because I'm not trained as a I'm not really good at math or graphics, like engineer, even coding, because that's what I thought 10 years ago, like probably 20 years ago when I was like just right after school. I'm like, there's no way to get into video game industry because I am not someone trained like good with computer science. But guess what? What I need is actually the foundation. What I have been practice endlessly between my like 12 to 20-ish. It's art foundation, and also I do think I'm very very lucky because I met the revolution era of real-time rendering technology. That does benefit a lot. It reaches a point I could slowly transfer all of my photography foundation and the understanding of real life field lighting into video game like seamlessly. So yeah, I think it's a good timing, but indeed the message I wish to let myself know like a long time ago is focus on yourself more and don't worry about how the other people look at you. That's a little bit more for the sharing, and hopefully whoever is watching this little interview get inspired a little bit, and you're more than welcome to find me on my Twitter as well. I'll just leave them here so you could find me at Maria Yue 77. That is my Twitter tag, or X, however people call them right now. And you could also look at me at, just type my name on ArtStation, you will find this little portfolio here. If somebody is actually looking for lighting study, I do offer some free tutorials and interview and standards and my own website. So I have some lighting diary located right here, and those are just like some of my study notes. I took these notes for basically for myself. It's about how I study, how I read the lighting. But yeah, if you do interested about the video game lighting, this is the website, and I'll share all of my social tags with our lovely host. So thank you once again for having me, and I hope what I have been shared here will be helpful and inspiring. Take care.